Alright then, we've got quite the spicy story for you today because, look, this is something that's probably going to be coming into a lot of games over time. And it's the sort of thing where, look, mobile games proved that this shit works. And as much as EA were attached to this story, they've now seemingly fallen off the story. But other actual game studios that you know are going to be using this and actually already have. Okay, so in this story, originally, this was about a TV advertising company who made a advertisement platform. This platform could then integrate with video games. And the whole idea here, right, is that it would integrate with video games. It's actually been tested out by Hi-Rez Studios, the developers of Smite. And it's literally just, you're playing your PC or console, free-to-play game. And just like with a mobile game, maybe, you want some more gems, you want a timer to go down. Well, why not watch a 30-second advertisement and get some gems? We know this shit happens in mobile. We know it converts super well in mobile. And now we have a company that is going to be doing that, on PC and console. So we need to dive into this because it is all quite interesting. This was a report by Axios, by Sarah Fisher. Okay, so this platform is called Player One. It's launching this week, and it allows the big ad companies to basically run TV-style advertisements and then target them to younger demographics. Now, this platform is operated by Simul Media. They're just a big old-school TV ad company, right? That sort of vibe. No, not old school, but, they're TV ads. That's what they do. Whole idea is you're watching a 15 or 30-second ad in exchange for being able to unlock some exclusive gaming perks. Because, of course, Matt, we love ourselves some exclusive gaming perks.
Absolutely love them, especially in return for 30 seconds of time when I could be playing video games.
Yes, we'll talk about Artro when it's time for the analysis, because we have a little bit of experience, both of us, and we know that this shit works. So this story is basically big because Simul Media has struck a deal with Electronic Arts, reportedly, but they've since refuted, and Hi-Rez Studios, who, of course, nice little reminder, Tencent's Hi-Rez Studios. That's pretty big. Now, this interview is with a Dave Madden, who's big at that company. Now, basically, you can code the ads into your games. Players then watch those ads. They get some rewards. That can be skins. That can be in-game currency, things like that. But what you guys need to understand is how this works in relation to monetization and conversion rate. So, the whole thing about mobile gaming, and just free-to-play in general, is it's based on whales, right? So it's that thing where a small percentage of your audience drive all the revenue. It's why you had that Transformers game where I believe there was even a skew of a Transformers mobile game that basically like a bunch of Saudi princes were putting a whole bunch like crazy whale money into a version that was actually made for that region. So that was a crazy thing. But yeah, broadly, if you're only making money from the whales, then there's 90% of people who sort of exist to give the whales people to play with, but you're not making that much money from them directly, are you? So why not make money from them for free? Now, what's funny here is that this works. Let's go to Hi-Rez Studios and the game Smite. Smite, a game that I loved playing back in my uni days, and they found that players were 22% more likely to play the game and spend money from within the game if they watched in-game ads that gave them access to more gaming perks. So people were 22% more likely to play and 11% more likely to spend. And that is absolutely massive when you are dealing with converting people into whales. Because number one here, you're converting people into whales because they have got the freebie from watching an ad, and then you've also made money from the ad. And the way that basically works is if you invest your time into watching an ad, and then maybe you get a skin, you get some in-game currency, well, then you're tying a pretty real amount of your own time to getting that currency. And that means whenever the company goes and flashes you a big, juicy deal, you're now thinking about that in relation to you having a daily habit of watching adverts in the game to get your free shit. So you're going to be more likely to actually spend real money. I mean, here, Axios had a great by the numbers. A 2020 analysis from Morgan Stanley finds that a reward-based console advertising system could reach $2 billion, even if only 45% of gamers opt in. And here's the big thing. Adverts that run twice per hour would have an average CPM of roughly $20. Now, $20 is, in the sort of television land, like really cheap. But in digital, I mean, $20, like, that's a lot more than what you get on YouTube. I can tell you that for sure. We should, of course, mention here, so this is what an EA spokesperson said. Following incorrect reports suggesting we are looking to introduce TV-style commercials into our games, we wanted to clarify that in-game advertising for console games is not something we're currently looking at or have signed any agreements to implement, an EA spokesperson said. Creating the best possible player experience remains our priority focus. So they totally can do it in mobile games, and EA do have some of those. But they're, EA themselves have said that they're not doing that for the big console games. Now, of course, it's the big free-to-plays. That's really where this is going to be going on, and I mean, that's why it's, Hi-Res Studios and Smite was one example of this. That's the story. Now people know what's going on. It all is going a little bit ghastly. I think we should talk about Archero, the mobile game that got us, and it was a game that, gives us really good first-hand understanding of this particular loop and how it actually works.
Yeah, I feel like it's complete genius to get that little, first breaker, the icebreaker as they call it, I believe.
Yeah.
Getting that icebreaker for free is kind of insane, genuinely. Because, you'll have played mobile games, you'll play games, and they'll try to hit you with a little bit of,
They will.
Here's a starter pack, here's £1 or 99p or 99 cents, whatever, for an obscene amount of stuff that will feel genuinely great to play with and will, accelerate your progress if you're playing a free-to-play or a mobile game. But now they're not asking for, they're not even asking for you to put your card details in. They're just going, okay, well, just watch this ad for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm trying to think of one. Archer is a really good example. I don't know how many times I've watched ads sitting through playing that game, but there's even other ones where I've not spent any money in them, but I will just watch ads habitually for them. I think it was a Bullet Hell Monday or something is one of those ones where I'm kind of happy to watch ads because the game's fine, and it's insidious.
It's that icebreaker is the genius bit.
Yeah, that's it. It's that
because if you just give someone some free shit as soon as you log into a game, even if it's your day one in the game bonus or your login bonus or just some random freebie, people haven't earned that freebie. So it's not an icebreaker. It is the company showing you that, oh, look, with some premium gems, look how nice it can be. But you haven't really done an action to involve yourself with those gems. Login bonuses do get towards that. But if you're actually sitting there watching an advert, they've given you your freebie. It's not freebie because you've literally watched an ad, but they've done the icebreaker, but in a way where you've done the work. And then that starts to train your cognitive patterns and your expectations.
Yeah, it's I imagine it used to be back in the day, you would want an icebreaker to involve someone putting in their details or whatever else, as well as having the psychological element of it. But on console now, and on all especially if you've got an iPhone, it's just Apple Pay, or your card details are saved, so it's just hitting confirm.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes now. So that icebreaker being just completely free of money is so I want to say vile, but it's also so smart.
But do you know what's really wild about it too? I've noticed in some of these mobile games, they frame watching an advertisement to open, say, a premium chest. They frame that as a reward in and of itself, because they'll only let you watch an advertisement every hour, or maybe 3 advertisements a day. So they will actually make the ability to watch an in-game ad a limited thing. So you only have so many free ways of earning that in-game currency via the ad. But then they've actually trained you so that the experience of watching an ad is literally a reward. And bam, they have got you. So the reward psychology that is being done by these games companies and the advertisement firms is absolutely bonkers. And I think if I was to remove myself from being a gamer, and let's just say I was trying to LARP as an ad man, you see the amount of people playing Warzone, and it's just anything you can do to get Bobby to give you a little thing. And the same goes here with this EA thing. So even though it's not EA now, but what happens in 5 or 10 years? That's the question.
Yeah, you would certainly hope that that this isn't going to be going into premium games, but also Remember the last time advertisements showed up in premium console games
Yeah.
with 2K's? Was it NBA?
It was. If I go to, yes,
Yeah.
a little thing that they prepared for us previously here. Yeah, so EA, of course, what we know about them is they've been moving away from the FIFA loot boxes. They've been doing direct purchase, cosmetics, and then there's the time-limited preview skin thing or preview thing for the foot packs, which we're going to get into next. But then, yes, the NBA 2K series got in trouble for ads before. And if I do a click on this, yes, there was literally unskippable advertisements in NBA 2K. Television style. I believe it was... Oh, well, there's a few different things have happened there, and this franchise is a heavily monetized one, but it's totally that thing, and actually it does make me think about this in the context of sports games, and that is that, you know, you're watching a sports game, you get an advertisement for something, you know, you watch a football match, it's lots of product placement and advertisements, in the same way that, you know, you're used to football cards, so digital football cards feel okay, even though they are literally evil pay-to-win bullshit.
Yeah, so in the context of FIFA, you could easily imagine like a halftime advert in the middle of a game, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's I mean, I don't know how they could do it in terms of like a gameplay reward, but you know, some extra currency for watching an ad in the halftime instead of skipping it."
You've done it. Right. Okay. Let's get EA on the line and let's have a massive, massive deal with them. Because that's exactly it. Halftime thing. And then you actually have an option, you know, press X for the halftime thing. And then, you know, they can make the halftime, you know, the transition to the halftime thing feel exactly like you're playing a football game. You could earn some extra FIFA coins or whatever they're called from doing that. And then that actually means that every single game of FIFA that you play, you actually have this additional embedded opportunity to earn EA advertising money to get more FIFA Ultimate Team coins, and then those coins, you use those, you then understand better the value of those, and in a way that is related to your time, therefore the value proposition of buying them, say at a promo discount, goes up. And that's how they use this shit to get people. Now EA are not doing this, they say right now, so we can't say they're going to do that, but that's just an example of how this could be inserted into a game like that with complete ease, and in a way where it would be trying to mimic what the football experience is like.
Yeah, it's interesting that the NBA ones were based on loading screens as well, because like that's the one that makes sense. But the console generation we're in now, loading screens are a thing of the past, so they have to find new ways to throw in ads.
Yeah,
which is I think it's where we're going to see it specifically in like between waiting in free to play games. Be it like waiting in like a queue or something like that. Because you could imagine like here's a player queue, get into the premium queue for watching an ad or something would be really, really insidious. But like the FIFA version, I'd love to see how they tested it out with Smite. But it's so...
Yeah.
You can feel the way they could kind of almost diegetically bring it in. And then suddenly you've got the icebreaker for the concept in gaming, as was the case with Horse Armor back in the day. But I genuinely think that EA, being one of the like people who are avoiding this, might actually stem this tide by a significant margin outside of free to play.
I think they also probably have a bit of a fear in them. If they were to do a Battlefront 2 in a way that could hurt one of their established, extremely successful franchises, so they're going to work out what they can do. Now, before we leave this topic, they plan to launch this in roughly a dozen more games by year's end. So we're going to see this in lots of big free-to-plays. And this is not targeting mobile. This is targeting like console and PC. So we are going to see more. So suffice to say, that's been our dive into video game monetization. I hope you're not all terrified, dear viewers, at how awful that this could all get. But this is the shit we need to think about, we need to know about, and hopefully you now know. So I hope you enjoyed. We will, of course, be back in the channel with much more content, so be sure to sub. And with that, farewell.